Buckle up, buttercups. We got a lot to talk about. So this is really weird because, man, lighting in here sucks, but that doesn't matter. I use this streaming software to do the majority of my live streams. And for some reason today, after I got it all ready, now it won't let me enter the live stream. So I've got to live stream it through YouTube here instead of the other software that I use where I can do screen shares and stuff. Very odd. This has never happened before. I've done hundreds of podcasts with this streaming software, and this is the first time that this has happened. So what's up with that? Is it just a coincidence that today I'm going to share some of these UFO files and now it won't let me live stream? I mean, that's really, really weird. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about because there has been all sorts of news about these UFO files and UFO videos that are going to just blow people's minds. And I've gone through the videos and I've gone through the files, and there's some interesting files and some interesting videos that I'm going to share with you as soon as I can. But for now, we're just going to talk about it. Very weird. So how are you doing? Hope your day's going fantastic. Been super busy out here for me in Southern Colorado. So I apologize that I haven't seen you in about a week and a half. I've missed you, but so weird. Also, there's reports of pastors and mega churches preparing for disclosure. I've got information about that. And this might kind of anyway, very interesting. And then we're going to talk about some bank insiders that are preparing for disclosure and what they think is going to happen to the financial markets and the economy after disclosure. So is this all a distraction? I mean, it could be. But what's interesting is, what if it's real? What if it's legit, but the timing of it being obviously, wag the dog kind of special situation, it's going to make people not believe it, even if it is real. So maybe there's some strategy behind that. I don't know. But can you guys see me okay? How's the, I got the green screen. I usually have a cool image behind me, but anyway, so sorry about the special effects. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. So I just did some research a couple of days ago, I dove deep into banks purchasing gold, and China is literally purchasing tons of gold right now. Banks around the world are purchasing gold at very high levels, and now might be a good opportunity for you to get into gold and silver. I'm a silver surfer, total silver stacker, and we've seen some awesome moves with gold and silver. We had a recent pullback, obviously, a little while ago, so now might be an incredible time to get into gold and silver. There's obviously never any guarantees. So what you want to do is you want to call it Noble Gold Investments. Say Rex from Leap Project sent you. If you've got a 401 or an IRA and you convert into precious metals, depending on if you qualify, ask them how. They will gift you a American Eagle gold coin at no additional cost. Their number is 877-646-5347. And you can go to their website, noblegoldinvestments.com, ask about the free wealth protection kit. They're very friendly. They're non-pressure. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And I've got friends and family, including myself, that has purchased gold and silver through Noble Gold Investments, and platinum. Ooh, yeah. Platinum it is definitely a sleeper. So look into platinum. All right, let's get into this. The Department of War recently released about 17 pages worth of files and videos and PDFs that go all the way back to 1947. Some of these files have already been released. Now, watching these videos, the majority of these videos, if they don't show you an artist rendition, you see dots on a screen, or you'll see a miniature orb in some weird radar thermal imaging that you can barely make out, and you'll see it fly past the screen. So nothing that blows my mind yet, especially after doing 20 years plus worth of research in this field. Nothing's blown my mind. Now, there was some stuff that allegedly the astronauts saw while they were out there in deep space, where they saw these lights and they'd close their eyes and they'd see these lights. And some people are speculating that has something to do with UFOs. I actually think that is more based on the cosmic radiation that they were being exposed to massive amounts of cosmic radiation in space. I mean, hell, you just fly in an airplane and you're going to get exposed. Well, at least when I flew to Alaska back in 2013 from San Antonio, radiation levels went from like 0.06, 0.08 microsieverts per hour on the floor, all the way up to 4.2 microsieverts in the air, which I think is 60 times higher. So imagine now you're going up into deep space, or you're going up outside of, well, I don't want to say outside of the atmosphere, but you're kind of, when you're shooting out there several miles, you're going to get exposed to exuberant amounts, like enormous amounts of radiation. So when these astronauts are seeing flashing lights in their head and they got their eyes closed and they're seeing these flashing lights, that's probably cosmic radiation. Not a good thing. But what I also found very interesting was when I read some headlines about how pastors and mega churches were preparing for UFO disclosure. And so I did some research into that, and I want to do screen shares, but I don't know how to do a screen share on this. Let me see if I can figure that out. Highlight video, add stream marker. Where's it at? Come on. This really kind of lights me up because I have never had a problem with my streaming software before until today. And then now it just won't let me freaking do the damn stream. Ugh. All right, but that's okay. We can improvise. Where's this at? All right, here it is. There's a pastor named Larry Ragland, and he made claims that he was invited to this UFO disclosure from government officials. And so that made headlines all over the world. Now he is walking it back. Pastor Larry Ragland apologizes after the GOP congressman disputes UFO briefing claims. I want to own it. So a charismatic pastor apologized Wednesday after a Republican congressman disputed his claim that he called into a private meeting with pastors about UFOs to warn that the government is planning to claim aliens created humans and invented Christianity. Larry Ragland, who serves as senior pastor of Solid Rock Church in Birmingham, Alabama, issued a video statement clarifying that he conflated his own opinions after those of Representative Eric Burleson in a recent viral clip. The viral clip showed Ragland claiming a very well-known congressman from Missouri called into a recent meeting with a group of pastors about UFOs to suggest that so-called extraterrestrials are part of a demonic conspiracy to deceive humanity. On the speakerphone, this sitting powerful member of Congress said they are preparing to tell us that they're from another dimension and that they are our creators. And that these beings, these aliens, whatever you want to call them, they were the ones that seated us here. There is no such thing as God. Jesus was invented by them. The Bible was invented by them, Ragland said. The viral clip identifies the member of Congress as Burleson, a devout Christian who serves on the U.S. House Oversight Subcommittee that has been investigating unidentified anomalous phenomena. So, once again, we've got somebody that makes this gigantic claim about aliens and then they have to walk it back. See, that's why I'm a bit skeptical about extraterrestrial disclosure. I definitely believe in extraterrestrials. I mean, I've seen stuff that you just can't explain. And I've talked to you about it before. What I saw when I was just a toddler in my crib, those things were not human. Doesn't mean they were aliens. It could have been a hallucination, but I still remember it like it's yesterday and it still gives me the chills. So it was fascinating. But the stuff that they pitch, when I say they, I'm talking about the news, the media, the powers that be, seems like they're typically showing us something that we can either decode into like a meteor or some type of spy craft or classified drone technologies. I mean, let's go back and look at these videos and look at the images that we see that are supposed to be aliens, like the whole Bill Maher conspiracy. Like Bill Maher, the guy that was taking photos of these UFOs and these flying saucers that were up close and personal. But then you look at these UFOs and they look like hubcaps with marbles glued onto them. I memean, we've got technology way beyond that now. So you think that ETs from other dimensions are coming here in outdated technology? I mean, it's just in a flash. And then you can see that video of one of those UFOs that Billy Meyer recorded, and you can see it go like, oh, cut the screen, turn off the video. You can see the thing moving back and forth like this, the UFO, like it's on some type of string. I mean, total charlatan, in my opinion. I think that guy made up so much nonsense, but some people look at him like he is Jesus and that he is the man and he is the only person that ever met aliens. Well, I call BS. That's my opinion. If you saw that video of the UFO on a string, you'd probably think the same thing, but you may not. I don't know. So my point is, we got to be very careful when we look at these disclosures of aliens and ETs and UFOs that look like outdated tech from the 70s from a sci-fi Buck Rogers film. Now we're dealing with pastors that are making claims. But you know what? I go back 20 years ago and I remember the same thing. They're doing the same thing, folks. They're spinning this again and again and again and again. Who's they? The media. The media is spinning this. And the powers that be probably love it because they're saying the same thing that they've been saying for decades. Oh, pastors were warned about UFO disclosure. In the near future, churches are going to disclose aliens. And the Vatican said they're even going to baptize an alien. Remember that? The Vatican came out and said that there several times the Vatican has came out and said that they're going to baptize aliens because they're God's creatures too, which they are. You know, people that say all aliens are demons. Well, demons probably say all humans are, aliens probably say all humans are demons. I mean, there's not much of a difference there. There's just a different planet or a different dimension. Are there nefarious extraterrestrials? Probably. Are there nefarious humans? Yes. So I'm just saying, for anybody out there that thinks that all aliens are evil, look in the mirror, dude. I'm just saying. So we've got also congressmen coming out saying that if they shared with the world what they know about extraterrestrials and UFO technologies, that their lives would be in danger. And then we've got all these missing scientists that are linked to anti-gravity technology and wormhole technologies that are going missing. And then people are making claims that conspiracy theorist people are somehow connected to these scientists that go missing or have events happen to them, like, you know, what happened to David Wilcox. Terrible what happened to David. Whether you, I mean, I'll tell you what, after he blamed Gaia and the people that worked at Gaia for being Luciferian, I was like, oh, okay. Because I met the people that worked there. I didn't meet the owner. Well, it's a public company, but you know, like, I'm not a fan. So I'm not like, how do I put this? I don't think they were Luciferian. Let's just put it that way. Most of the people that worked there at the time, when I checked it out several years ago, because I got invited to go out there, they were like in their 20s. And they were just normal people. You know, they weren't like doing seances and rituals at work and stuff like that. So that really kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth when he made that comment about Gaia. And once again, I'm not even really sticking up for Gaia because I think that they have a lot of videos out there that have been really like the whole Corey Good nonsense. I mean, seriously, that kind of set the community back and the genre back 100 years to come out and blue aliens, man. I'm talking to blue aliens. Then you read the transcript from court when Corey Good had to go to court and he said he made it up. And then people were still defending him. So, but I'm looking for the truth. And you're probably looking for the truth too. And if you think the same about aliens that you thought 10 years ago, you should probably do some more research. Do they come from Zeta Reticuli? Maybe, probably not. But that whole story about the Greys abducting people and saying, like Betty and Barney Hill, I interviewed their niece, I think, really nice lady. And, you know, she gave the testimony about what they had said, and the media kind of took what they said. And then the world now has decided that these Greys are from Zeta Reticuli because they pointed to a star system that's the Zeta Reticuli star system or whatever. And we didn't allegedly know about that before. Well, these things could say they're from anywhere, folks. And when the government is releasing files of little tiny dots on a screen and videos that are fuzzy and you can't really see what these things are, I mean, it's interesting, but I'm sure they have much better evidence of aliens and extraterrestrials. So why are they just showing us these ridiculous videos and images that don't really prove anything? except for we don't know what it is. I mean, these things could be government drones for all we know, or some type of like defense contractor drones or technologies. More likely that than aliens from outer space, in my opinion. But 10 years ago, I didn't think that. 10 years ago, I was buying this stuff like everybody else. Oh, it's an extraterrestrial from Zeta Reticuli. Oh, it's a space alien. Maybe. I mean, if I told you some of the stories of like personal testimonies of my friends and family that have had experiences with these grays, you would probably have a tough time sleeping at night. Some of you have heard these stories and testimonies. I mean, I've had retired submariners on the show that talked about how they were abducted on almost a nightly basis by grays, and they call them demonic. And they look at it as a demonic entity because of the fear that they put them through and the traumas that they put them through. I could see why you would look at them as demons in the classical sense, but are they really demons or are they something else? You know, my theory is that they do these experiments on certain people because they need to know what they're doing and researching, and they want something with their DNA. And the hybrid program could be very real. That would be, I mean, that would make a lot of sense in some of these experiences that people have where they claim that they took certain substances from their body, and then they also make claims about meeting their hybrid children on these spacecraft. I think a lot of that is probably, I mean, a lot of people truly believe what they're saying, and I know there's a lot of people that are literally just making stuff up to sound cool. So, you know, I'm taking everything with a grain of salt here, and I'm doing my best to connect all the dots. And what it appears is like, do you remember the 2020 nativity scene from the Vatican where it looked like space aliens and astronauts and ancient Babylonians? That was a very interesting nativity scene. Do you remember the videos and the commercials that came out several years ago where it was like United Nations commercials where there were green alien hybrids in school, and they were showing it like, you know, the normal school kids were making fun of the alien school kid, and they were showing like what it would be like to be an alien that went to school at a human school. Just very, very interesting. They've been preparing us for decades, folks. But here's the thing. They've always been here. They've been here probably just as long, if not longer, than we have. And there's definitely something behind the scenes controlling the narrative, deciding who releases what information at specific levels, and not just in our government, but governments around the world. There is a highly orchestrated, coordinated effort to keep certain information under wraps and allow certain data sets to be released at specific times for psychological conditioning. So what we are experiencing right now is just another wag the dog scenario, in my opinion, to have people think certain ideas. And meanwhile, the news that we should be reading about or that should be hitting mainstream news is suppressed. It's on page 15. It's on page 95. Very interesting. But let's go back to, there's a few different pieces that I want you to look at, and then I will share with you when I can do a live stream on my software, because like I said, for whatever reason, my live streaming software isn't allowing me to do this. But there is a video from Greece, 2023. And I watched this video. There's this UAP that's moving extremely fast, and then all of a sudden it's doing like 90-degree turns over and over and over again. There's another article that you can look up, or another file. Look this. So type this in: Greece 2023 90-degree turn UAP. That's the first one. The second one you should check out is Western U.S. orbs launching orbs. It's a federal agent case. So just type in orbs launching orbs. The next one, and you've probably seen this, Apollo 17 triangular lunar dots, Jack Schmitt flash. You've probably read the files from 1947, the FBI files, where this agent is given information about, and they used the number 3 in this 3 times. Very interesting. This agent found 3 flying saucers with 3-foot-tall beings inside the saucer, or inside the saucers. Then you've got the Kazakhstan 1994 high-altitude commercial pilot encounter. Those are 5 different encounters. I would say check out when you get a few minutes. Just type it in, Google search, and look at those videos and look at those files. Those are very interesting. And I'm going to share them with you as soon as I can. Also, this is interesting. There's a story. about, or a claim, I should say, evangelicist Perry Stone publicly claimed that pastors were invited to confidential meetings with individuals connected to U.S. intelligence or government circles and were allegedly told to prepare their congregations for upcoming UFO UAP revelations. Now, according to Stone, a small group of influential pastors allegedly attended. They were warned that future disclosures could include extraterrestrials, reptilian beings, recovered craft, non-human biological material, and officials were allegedly concerned some Christians could lose faith or panic, and pastors were supposedly encouraged to prepare theological responses ahead of time. I remember reading all this in 2000. This is the same script they used 25 years ago. What a surprise. So Perry Stone specifically claimed that in April of this year, or it was a video that he discussed in April of this year, pastors were told the government may soon release UFO footage. Yeah, but it's not really that good. Evidence of non-human intelligence. Evidence, but no proof. Reports involving entities not from this planet. He said the material sounded like science fiction. He warned believers could interpret disclosure as a challenge to Genesis, evidence humanity was engineered. I think there's plenty of evidence that humanity was engineered. Just look at the way our DNA, our spines, the what do they call them? The telomeres, the great deception referenced in biblical prophecy. Stone also claimed pastors were warned people are going to come to churches looking for answers. I want my money back. They're going to want their tithings back. They're going to be like, hey, man, I'm going to give you 10% of my tithings now. And I need to give my 10% to the aliens, man. And then Tony Merkel also discussed similar conversations. Merkel stated he had contact with people allegedly connected to disclosure circles whose stated goal was preparing Christians, preventing spiritual destabilization, and framing disclosure within biblical theology rather than secular narratives. Well, you do know that these scriptures in the Bible, there's other scriptures that are far older with a lot more information, right? So if you still think that the Bible was like literally written by Jesus or by the creator, I would recommend looking further into the ancient Babylonian texts, the Sumerian tablets, the Akkadian tablets, because a lot of that information is far older than the Greek translations, as well as the what's that word I'm looking for? What language? Persian? I don't remember. Anyway, I'll read the comments in a minute, because there's a lot more information out there. And there's a lot of tablets that have the same information that you'll find in the Bible, the more modern scriptures, but just there's a lot more data. Eric Burleson angle. Some clips circulating online involve Eric Burleson discussing interdimensional theories related to UAPs. Now that could be from the people that I've interviewed that I believe about the UFO/ET abductions that they've had. They have a lot of very similar stories and experiences, and they've never even met each other. Some of the people that I've talked to off air that don't want to come out publicly and talk about this stuff have described similar experiences, and they describe these beings coming in like, how do I put it? They like appear out of nowhere. So that makes them think they're interdimensional. But are they interdimensional, or are they just using technologies that allow them to move interdimensionally? Very interesting. So Perry Stone publicly made claims about the pastors being warned of alien disclosure. Tony Merkel discussed similar themes. The government UFO UAP disclosure efforts are still ongoing. Yeah, better than nothing, I guess. And you can see these videos at WAR.gov/pursue, or just type in Department of War UFO files, and you'll get the exact link. And there's 17 pages worth of files and videos and PDFs. We currently do not have any proof of released documents showing that there are secret pastor briefings on UFOs. We do not have an attendee list. We do not have any leaked memos or video or audio from these alleged meetings. So keep that in mind. No official confirmation from the DOD, the FBI, or Arrow, or the White House, which would they tell us if they didn't want us to know? Probably not. So currently, this is a unverified story that could be nonsense. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is the recent information that Helen McCaw, a former senior financial security analyst at the Bank of England, said. She became widely known after reportedly sending a warning letter to the Bank of England, Governor Andrew Bailey, urging the bank to prepare contingency plans for the potential economic fallout of official alien UAP disclosure. According to reports, McCaw warned that confirmation of non-human intelligence could trigger mass psychological shock, bank runs, collapse of confidence in institutions, volatility in gold, crypto, and equities, social unrest, and destabilization of global financial systems. One of the most quoted claims attributed to her was that governments, especially the US, appear to be moving through a multi-year disclosure process regarding UAPs and non-human intelligence. The story gained traction because it connected directly to the documentary, The Age of Disclosure, ongoing UAP hearings, new WAR.gov/pursue releases, as well as growing discussions from intelligence and military insiders about disclosure scenarios. Here's another theory I have. If we go back maybe hundreds of years, definitely thousands of years, this is a theory. I believe they've made themselves known and the people knew about them publicly. They might have had different names. When I'm saying them, I'm referring to these beings, these ultra terrestrials, these highly advanced beings. They've probably made themselves known throughout different epochs in history before certain events take place, and like major events. And it appears that we could be going into a major event here very soon. Not only with the wars and the rumors of wars, but the collapse of certain ocean currents, the major weather changes that we're seeing right now and experiencing. And I don't put all this on modification and weather manipulation and such. I think a lot of this is apt. I think the majority of this is natural and connected to the Earth cycles, as well as our star, our sun, our planets, the planets surrounding us, etc., the galactic plane, where we're at in the universe. It seems to be cyclical. Now, with that said, there's definitely a lot of manipulation and a lot of pollution and a lot of effects that humanity does have on the planet. With all the nuclear reactors, all the mining, all of the fracking, all of the toxic chemicals and forever chemicals, that's definitely going to have an effect on the planet as well. So I'm not discrediting one or the other, but I'm not putting it all on one or the other either. There's just too many variables. So a lot, and the powers that be love it when they get credit for this stuff. They want you to think that they can manipulate the weather at any time. They want you to think that they can do whatever they want at any time because it creates fear. It creates that mindset of, oh, there's nothing I can do. They can do whatever they want, and I just have to follow orders. They love that. That's taking away your power. Don't give them your power. I mean, unless you want to, but very, very interesting. So we've got potential bank runs. They warned us about this 20 years ago too. I mean, it's nothing new. They probably warned people about it in the 70s and the 50s. I'll bet you every 20 years, it's like a 20-year cycle. Every 20 years, the alien card gets brought back up. They get really close to disclosure, and then they start over again. It's just like pretty wild. Pretty wild. So I don't know. Well, I mean, what do you think about all this? Noister says, I will be a good shill. I will withhold my opinion until I have been properly told what it should be. That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Man, I wonder how the hell do I do a screen share on here? I really want to do a screen share. Oh, man. I don't know. Good news, though. Good news. Tomorrow, I will be doing a live stream, hopefully with my streaming software, if it isn't still screwed up. And I'm going to be doing it with somebody that's done a ton of work with the DIA and the DoD, has a bunch of patents. He's like a super tech guru guy, We're actually going to analyze these videos live. So I hope you can join us. We're going to be live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Mountain Time on YouTube as well as Rumble. So please join us and we'll analyze the videos together. And then I'm also going to be going live on Tuesday with my friend Brian from Visual Disturbance. And he's out there in the Midwest. Well, I think he's actually in Kentucky, somewhere around there. And he has a ton of good information on cryptids and bizarre unexplained phenomena out there and like the Appalachians, etc. So I have a lot of interviews coming up. So hopefully you can check back daily for new content. And oh, there he is. Brian, what's up? Speak of the man, the legend himself. Hey, we got Kat in the chat. Good to see you, Kat. How you been? And we've got Nicole in the chat. Wonderful to see you. Purple, Retro. Good to see you, brother. General Sorrow. That's a sad name, man. That name makes me sad. Mr. F. Nanu. What's up? Great name. Great name. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry I couldn't share these videos live with you, but we'll save that for tomorrow. Leave a comment in the comment section. What do you think is going to happen? Do you see this as another wag the dog scenario? I know a lot of you do because I'm reading the comments. Rex, this is a distraction. This is a distraction. When is it not a distraction? Whoever's running the show, whatever's running the show, wants complete control. They want you to feel free. They want you to feel independent, but they want to control your thoughts. They want to control your movements. And have you read the technologies? Have you read up on some of these patents where they're actually going to like brain interface where you can move stuff and check stuff on your phone with your mind without even having a brain chip, like the Neuralink or whatever? That's pretty wild. I think that technology's been around for at least 20 years also. But we'll talk about that more later. Have a beautiful day. Hit the bell. Much love. Thank you for being awesome. Great to see you. Be the change you want to see. Nano.